Welcome back, everybody. For this one, we have to pick up where we left off in Jersey Shore at the Aurora Fly-In. Sam, Sandy, Millie, and I were all cruising through Harrisburg, Pennsylvania when it dawned on me that I knew some people from the area. I called up my old friends Clayton, Javon, and Gregory and told them about this bridge that looked like fun to play around with. The last time I flew with the guys from PA, we were still little baby pilots just getting things figured out. We happened to set up camp next to each other at Salton Sea and road tripped through Moab, ending our trip with an epic flight through Corona Arch. But this time, I had a different arch in mind that was easily just as cool. Within hours of calling them, they pulled up in their trucks and we were ready to fly. It's pretty refreshing having friends that you can link up with years later and pick up right where you left off. We followed each other across the cornfields of Amish country until we came up on the Susquehanna River. This bridge was a pretty stunning photo op, and I couldn't resist the urge to foot drag through. Talk about a place that's full of history. It was really fascinating flying over the old covered bridge ruins left over from a Civil War battle back in 1863. But that's a whole rabbit hole of history that I'll let you guys go down on your own. The sun began to set, and there was a carefree spirit in the air that you just don't feel on every flight. We played around high in the sky, bombed down into an old rock quarry, and played among the bluffs along the Susquehanna. The whole flight back, we wingtip bumped, carved back through Amish country, and of course buzzed the ladies back at the LZ. Life in Pennsylvania was good. This insane flight was pretty spontaneous, so we rushed to get into the sky and didn't really get to hang out until after the flight. I'm pretty sure we could have swapped flying stories all night in that parking lot, but we had to keep moving if we were going to make it to the Ramblin' Man's house later that evening. It turns out our friend Chris lives in the middle of a forest, which isn't a bad way to live if you ask me. The plan was to kill some time here until the Purdens fly-in a few days. We woke up bright and early one morning to check out Chris's stomping grounds. The conditions were less than ideal, but I was able to cross a pretty neat item off the list. I'd never been to Maryland before, and lately I have a trend of seeing new states by paramotor before I get to see them on foot. Later, Chris showed us around the Amish market in Lancaster, where we devoured some of the best food I'd ever had. And even though we were having a blast in Pennsylvania, there was another fly-in that we had to get to. Introducing the Dave Purdens fly-in in Portsmouth, Ohio. This was my first time here, and let's just say there was a lot of fun to be had.
Pack my bags, gonna move across the country.
Shout out to Michelle for setting the bar high on this one. We had a blast chasing jet skis up and down the Ohio River and watching the barges float on by.
Say goodbye to all my lovely friends.
Purdens is one of those magic paramotor locations where every morning you can expect clouds and fog, and every evening you might as well plan on watching the prettiest sunset of your life.
I'm grateful for the harder times it meant.
On one flight, I linked up with a guy on a Falcon 2. I had no idea who he was, but we quickly found ourselves barrel rolling through the clouds above the Appalachians. It seemed like we had the entire sky to ourselves, and in the moment, I was thinking, this is the best flight of my life. After the flight, I had to track down this mystery pilot and shake his hand. What a crazy experience to share with a complete stranger.
We were never meant to stray. You and I, we go together.
And as pretty as those sunsets were, there was something about the mornings that just delivered the smoothest air I'd ever flown in. From the bridges in the background to each barge that floated by, this area set an entire vibe for flying that was uniquely Purdens.
Stop chasing everything you said when you were young.
Chris and I enjoyed an entire morning of cruising along the Ohio, buzzing crops, and foot dragging the shallow spots like any good paramotor pilot would do. I actually met Chris on this trip as well, and I have to give him a shout out for letting us stay at his house for a few days. Honestly, one of the highlights of the trip for me, and Chris, if you're watching this, let's fly again soon.
You and I, we go together, fireflies in southern weather. coming home today.
I watched James Sutherland kick a soccer ball around and spent quite a bit of time just relaxing next to the river. It felt like we were moving 1,000 miles an hour on this trip, and there was a lot to process. I will say this has aged well with time. Looking back on all these memories, I'm already itching to go back in the near future.
From the ups and downs, but in the end it all works out.
I met so many incredible people on the journey to Pennsylvania and back, and the flying just got better each day. There was even a moment where a rainbow appeared in the sky, and I'm floating through the air barefoot. If ever there was a pinch me moment where I simply felt gratitude, this was it. I have to give Neil White a shout out for fixing my pole starter here, and extend a thank you to everyone really that made this trip as special as it truly was. Not in my wildest dreams could my younger self have imagined a life so full of adventure and great people, and honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. Thanks for watching, guys.